What is that one fact you know that always makes people respond, and why the fuck do you know that? If you plan on using a baseball bat as a weapon, put a long sock over the end. When someone tries to grab the bat, you can rip it away with ease and continue with the baseball beatdown. That you should always use 2 hands to pick up a severed human head. Human heads weigh about as much as a standard-size bowling ball, but unlike bowling balls, they are not perfectly spherical. Therefore, gravity is not evenly distributed across the entire head, so they have a tendency to topple out of your hand if you try to hold them with just one. And nobody wants to be the person who drops a severed head. Half of all bank robberies take place on a Friday. Terminal velocity of an ant is around 3.9 miles per hour. They can't be harmed by falling because they can't fall fast enough to hurt themselves. For the same fall distance, a mouse walks away, a human breaks every bone, and a horse splashes. It hits the ground so hard it explodes. Like a hefty bag filled with vegetable soup. Alcoholics decompose faster when they die. Source. Was a crime scene cleaner. Edit. So I posted this last night while falling asleep, so here is some clarification. When people die they decompose, but people that are alcoholics will decompose faster than normal dead people. Why? I have no idea. It's been so long since I was in that line of work, I just remember enough stories and facts to stay interesting. Love y'all. A nursing sperm whale's milk comes out in the consistency of cottage cheese so the calf can eat it in the water. I read it as a nursing whale's sperm milk. Fuck me. According to some cannibals, the most delicious part of the human body are the eyeballs, they like licking them. Edit. I'm not the cannibal and thanks for the silver. Opossums eat ticks like we eat potato chips. They'll hoover up 5,000 ticks a week and never get Lyme disease themselves. Rat poison is actually an anticoagulant mixed with stuff like fiberglass. Because rats are always scraping and squeezing into stuff, they build up these minor injuries. The anticoagulant stops their blood from clotting properly and they internally hemorrhage to death. Since a human being is a lot bigger than a rat, rat poison is much less effective on us. Those fake roses that come inside a glass tube at gas stations aren't pretty decorations. They're crack pipes. The fact that I genuinely believed that this was common knowledge is leading me to think I've made some bad decisions in my life. The best way to clean up blood without leaving a smell is salt. Just put salt and scrub. The salt helps the blood clump into pieces, making it easier to clean too. Edit. OMG. Thank you so much, kind stranger, for popping my gold cherry. Not a serial killer, but you can never be too careful. Edit 2. Many of you asked about taking it off clothes, so. Baking soda. Mix 1 part baking soda with 2 parts cold water in a bowl and dab onto the stain using a cloth. Leave for 30 to 40 minutes, then wipe off all remaining residue. Lemon to lighten dried-in blood. Simply rub half a lemon over the stain and sprinkle some table salt on top. Edit 3. Apparently it depends on the fabric. I used that when I did RNA and got tired of purchasing new uniforms. The maximum width the human anus can stretch is 9 to 12 cm. Edit. I shall now test this with the gold medal I just received. Not with that attitude. Edit. Holy shit. I left work for 3 days and come back to this? Why can't I be witty on my main account? If you're going to stab something, always make sure to stab and twist the knife. If you stab without twisting, it will just leave a slit that can easily be mended. If you twist, it leaves a hole that can't be so easily mended. Gonna fuck up some watermelons later. Snakes got 2 dicks. Edit. Obligated to say. Thanks for the silver, kind stranger, it's my first. Edit 2. Well damn, this blew the fuck up. For those asking how I know this, I saw it on TV and it stuck with me since. Colonel, I'm trying to infiltrate the compound, but my 2 dicks keep rubbing together in the sneaking suit and it's getting uncomfortable. A Russian woman had a shit ton of triplets, twins, and quadruplets, with the same man totaling up to 69 children. As a woman, fuck that. Horses masturbate by flopping their penis against their belly. Edit. Wow, gold for horse penis facts. I love Reddit. Thanks guys. If you go to a farmer's market or other place with those pony rides where the poor things walk around in a circle all day attached to a rotating wheel. All the male ponies are whacking it like crazy out of sheer boredom. Makes for some awkward family home videos later, I imagine. Here's our Billy. Enjoying his first pony ride. Not nearly as much as the pony seems to be, I guess. A human tooth has 36 calories. I'm hungry clenches jawsum, 1152 calories. In ancient Babylon people would build their most valuable possessions, fine wine, among others, into the walls of their basement, which in the region was usually a naturally occurring cave, so when the taxman came he couldn't see it to count it. Humans, dodging taxes for over 3,000 years. The skin on your lips is the same type of skin as the skin on your asshole. And the inside of your cheek is the same kind of skin as the inside of a vagina. How many people licked the inside of their cheek or bit their lip just now? Edit. Why is this my top comment? It's basically copypasta from one of the many times someone talks about the cheek being the same as the inside of a vagina. Then they read the comment while doing it and become madder than the mod of r/eDefined 1000, run by a stolen Kebblebot as he can't code. Then banned everybody and shut his sub down. Why do that when you can lick the inside of your vagina to find out what the inside of your cheek feels like? Please, this is amateur hour. I bit my asshole to see what my lips feel like. If you want to burn down a building, put potato chips in a toaster with a trail leading from the toaster to other highly flammable things. The potato chips leave no residue and the toaster will pop back up after the chips catch fire, so there's no way to find the start of the fire. Tarantulas taste like shrimp. I told this once to a random stranger because they brought up how they didn't like shrimp. They immediately hounded me about how I knew this. No, I never ate a tarantula. I read a Reddit comment that said it once then regurgitated it as fact and they challenged me and I looked like a fucking dweeb. Now I know why. It's cause they're both arthropods. You hear me, random Uber passenger I picked up 2 months ago? Arthropods. The heart, if perfused through the aorta with an appropriate solution, will beat for hours outside of the body. Bee testicles explode when they finish, and they die. Finish living with a bang. Can bees do anything without dying afterward? Bee exists dies. A 2008 Prius can float, at least for short distances. Car was not damaged in any way. Pythagoras from the Pythagorean theorem ran a cult, and another group came to come and murder him by locking him inside his house and setting it on fire. But instead he had his followers make a human ladder to escape the fire, but then abandoned them and they all died. He was murdered later that night being chased by the group in a bean field. The tag on a fitted sheet always goes on the right bottom corner, from the perspective of standing at the foot of the bed. Holy crap. Thanks for my first Reddit bling, kind strangers. When you are drowning in salt water, the salt water makes your lungs bleed and you end up drowning in a mixture of water and your own blood. Edit. Thanks for my first gold. When the German army captured Stalin's son, Hitler said that if the Soviets release a German general, then Hitler would give Stalin his son back. Stalin replied, "Why would I trade a general for a lieutenant?" That's right. Stalin was so serious that he wouldn't release a single POW just to get his own son back. I remember something along the lines of after his son unsuccessfully tried to commit suicide he commented that his son couldn't even get that right. Yeah, and his wife killed herself, after Stalin had some of her friends executed, I believe. Something tells me that Stalin wasn't the best husband and father. Or person. Owls have tube-shaped eyes, rather than spherical ones. This makes it difficult to move the eyes in their sockets, but is counteracted by the ability to rotate their heads 270 degrees in either direction. If you move the feathers out of the way of their earholes you can see the back of those eye tubes. What the fuck? If you fly a lot and want to be an asshole and never pay for a drink or food while in the air, use a credit card that is deactivated and declines. The Wi-Fi in the air doesn't pick it up until it's processed days later. Literally, you can do this every time. Pro tip. Make sure the date on the card hasn't expired and it's free cabs and whiskeys the entire plane ride. Every single time. Source. I used to date a flight attendant. It's pretty common knowledge. Sometimes public bathrooms have bright electric blue lights. This is so junkies can't see their veins to shoot up. Update. Thank you for the shiny stuff. That Disney is the biggest importer of explosives in the world. Edit. This commercially they don't beat out the US Department of Defense. They also have to pay a fine every day that is some serious fuck you money. Big Mouse has plenty of bribe money. Birds need gravity to swallow, so a bird in space would die very soon. Edit. I understand there's no oxygen in space, but by that logic humans couldn't survive in space either. I meant if they had spacesuits like humans do. Ancient Egyptians used to shave off their eyebrows to mourn the death of their cats. Please don't say this where my cat can find out and put even more weird pressure on me. The fact that mushrooms are more genetically related to humans than they are to trees. Stalin's mum sent him to study to become a priest. He didn't like studying, so that he joined a socialist group. He then became an atheist and was expelled from school for failing to attend end-of-year exams. Sounds scarily like my friend. Except instead of a socialist group he plays Monster Hunter World for over 8 hours a day. FBI is fine with that, carry on. On the 762nd digit of pi there are 6 nines in a row. Wombats have cubed poop. Poop 3. That you can disembowel yourself if you lift weights that are too heavy. Happened to my high school gym teacher, said he's never felt anything quite like shitting out your intestines. Go to hospital, let doctors fix. Close your mouth, plug your nose, and try to breathe in super hard. At some point in the future, you're gonna try to squat 300 pounds at the gym, and it's too much, and you're gonna blow out your sphincter bro, in front of all these gym dudes. The paramedics have to cut your pants off, and it looks like you're casing sausage out of your butt. Just don't do it. You can get prescription methamphetamine in the U.S. Trade name Desoxyn. Used for extreme ADHD or extreme obesity. Cocaine is commonly used on small children in pediatric trauma centers, since cocaine is an anesthetic and a vasoconstrictor. It is applied topically to control pain and bleeding in children that are too young to handle morphine. I got that when I was a kid. Went ass over teakettle on my bike and landed on my face. The doctor used topical cocaine to numb the wound before he sutured it up. I was tickled pink at the thought that I was getting coke while my dad was right there. The male fossa has a thorny penis which not only hurts females during mating, but makes it nearly impossible to escape while doing so even if it's forced. This is true of cats as well. Edit. Helps ensure the male's genes are passed on. The female can't just run off as they are attached. Felines, especially domestic cats, are well known for having penile spines. Upon withdrawal of a cat's penis, the spines rake the walls of the female's vagina, which may serve as a trigger for ovulation. Edit. Source Wikipedia. So that's why cats are so loud when they have sex. If you're a woman revolted by the smell of your guy's gym bag, but find yourself sometimes aroused by it, that's when you're ovulating. I told this to my girlfriend and she said, I guess I've never ovulated. Just learned a new term for scrotum. Mount Kilimanjaro is the tallest mountain with cell service. The fox has many different vocalizations, including a mating call that sounds like the Hollywood representation of a woman being murdered in the middle of the night. Edit. And boom goes my inbox. Dolphins bite the head off of fish and masturbate into the decapitated body. Edit. Now a comment about dolphin masturbation is my top comment. Man, I just keep reading about more and more similarities between dolphins and humans. The machineal tree is the deadliest plant in human history. Damn. This tree grows in Florida and the Caribbean, according to Atlas Obscura. It's the most toxic tree. The most toxic plant is water hemlock, also found in Florida. Florida is America's Australia. Most men who climb Mount Everest or other very tall mountains experience an erection due to how the altitude impacts blood pressure. Edit. And of course my highest rated comment involves high-altitude hard-ons. Thanks Reddit. 5 hacks to erectile dysfunction doctors don't want you to know. That we have taste buds on our testicles. I just tried this and I don't taste anything. It's gotta be something with a really strong flavor. Try some hot sauce. I'm Sean Evans and you're watching Hot Ones, the show with hot questions and even hotter testicles. The stringy things inside bananas are called phloem bundles. They allow the nutrients of the banana to travel the length of the fruit. They're kinda like the vascular system of the plant. Did you know that it was illegal to feed prisoners lobster more than 3 days a week? I have a bachelor's in history. I have plenty of stupid fun facts, just ask if you want more. Edit. I think I got myself into more than I can handle lol. You need to lose 2,000 milliliters, 2 liters, of blood to actually die from blood loss. A lobster's brain is in its throat. If you feed a human body to pigs, they will eat just about all of it except the teeth. Several murderers in rural areas have used this fact to their advantage. Bones can be some of the most effective and terrifying shrapnel, second only to liquid copper. Bones splinter when you put them in bombs, and can do horrific amounts of damage to soft tissues. Liquid copper, on the other hand, which is not that difficult to get in an explosion, can get through almost any armor like it's nothing. Learned that from a friend who did a tour in Iraq as an infantryman. A pig can have an orgasm that lasts like 20 minutes, and lions have so much sex that even like 50%, IIRC, seems wrong, is homosexual. Edit. Thank you. First ever silver. Never thought this would be the comment I'd get silvered for. That's why it's called a pride. That pig has been squealing a while. Hershey's Kisses are called that because the machine that makes them looks like it's kissing the conveyor belt. TNT stands for trinitrotoluene. I remember cause I really like the way trinitrotoluene sounds. Trinitrotoluene. YKK makes 97% of the world's zippers. The age of consent laws in my state. In high school, I had a friend who was 18 and dating a 15-year-old. So we all looked up the laws to see if he was breaking any. He wasn't, but that didn't stop us from making fun of him for it. The first thing to form on human embryos is the asshole. And quite a few people don't grow much further than that after they're born. This will get buried, but don't ever bury a dead body in an area without any vegetation. The high nitrogen content in our bodies helps plant to grow, and there will be a weird grassy patch at the top of burial site and anyone would be able to spot it. Jeffrey Dahmer tried to make sex zombies out of some of his victims by drilling holes in their heads while they were alive and pouring acid into the holes. One time he tried to do this with a 14-year-old boy, who managed to escape, naked, from Dahmer's apartment and was wandering around on the street. A group of women found him and became concerned, so they called police. 2 Milwaukee police officers showed up. Dahmer claimed the boy was his boyfriend, and the boy was disoriented from the lobotomy attempt. Plus he didn't speak English very well, so the police decided this was a gay lover spat, and handed a naked, bleeding, 14-year-old kid to a cannibalistic serial killer. Dahmer ended up killing and dismembering the boy. Those 2 officers were initially fired, but fought and won their jobs back, and one went on to become the president of the local police association. ETA. It gets worse. If the cops had done even a cursory check on Dahmer, they would have discovered that he was a convicted sex offender who was currently on probation for molesting a child. The 14-year-old victim was the younger brother of the boy whom Dahmer had molested in 1988. And when police returned the boy to Dahmer's apartment, they somehow missed the rotting corpse in his apartment of another victim Dahmer had recently murdered. Ohio is the only state in America that doesn't share a letter with the word mackerel. Edit. Some of y'all really need to learn your ABCs. Chuck E. Cheese's full name is Charles Entertainment Cheese. Elon Musk's full name is Elongated Muskrat. An adult's collarbone will break with 8 lbs of perpendicular force. A child's breaks at 12 lbs. All female spotted hyenas are basically Fuda dominatrixes and they give birth through their lady dicks. That you cannot burn toddlers alive in The Sims 4. Even if you make a building full of fire and put 7 toddlers in the burning building for hours. Pepsi was once the 6th largest military in the world. It takes 10 million bananas to kill you from radiation poisoning if you ate them all at once, or 274 every day for 7 years to die from radiation poisoning. Edit. My top comment is about radiation of bananas. Yay. Second edit. I am not advocating suicide by bananas. That Denmark had an ad called Do It for Denmark to try and increase their population. Moles have a multi-headed penis. Edit. My most upvoted comment is about mole penises. You can rearrange the letters in Clint Eastwood to Old West action, no leftovers. Eric Hartmann, the top fighter ace of history, yoinked Hitler's hat. He was being given an award by Hitler himself and had gotten absolutely hammered just a few hours before. As in, he practically couldn't walk. So he's waiting to meet Hitler and be awarded a high honor, is completely drunk, and realizes he doesn't have his hat. So he reaches for the closest one, and it's a bit big. Hitler's Luftwaffe adjutant is just fucking appalled. But everyone else is laughing. The big guy with one ball isn't here yet. And Eric says that it was too big. Then he jokes about Hitler having a big head. He was actually drunk the third and final time he met Hitler too, and according to him Hitler admitted to him that they had lost the war. So yeah, one time the best fighter pilot in history stole Hitler's hat because he was drunk. Blood bounces when it hits snow. You can carry a knife in an airport if it's under 6 centimeters. To be fair, most airports are bigger than that. How to make napalm or how to make a bomb out of flour. You can make a super effective bomb out of nothing more than a roll of toilet paper and a stick of dynamite. Okay, but how do I get the roll of toilet paper? It takes 72 balloons to lift a 5-pound chihuahua off the ground.